Moses, what do you think went wrong defensively tonight as a team?
It's hard to guard turnovers. We had a lot of those, so they guard their plan in transition. That's how they like to play.
What can you say about your guys' fight in the second half there with the bench unit?
Yeah, the goal was to make them put their starters in and not get a break. So we accomplished that. We didn't get the win, obviously, but we got something out of it.
How important was it for you maybe in those minutes, too, to get some offensive flow going for yourself as well?
Yeah, it was fun. Just getting out there playing free. Nothing really to lose. Yeah, it was fun, but, obviously didn't get it done.
Moses, 3 years ago, you guys had kind of a similar situation in Memphis when you got blown off the floor in Game 5 and came back and won Game 6. Any memories or flashbacks to that game tonight for you guys?
Yeah, well, it was even more similar to 3 years ago. We played Dallas, and we had a closeout chance in Dallas. And same thing, they was up by a lot. We came in. It was me, J.K., Beli, Cheese, D.Lee, Juan, maybe. I forgot who else. Cheez wasn't there. But, so they brought their starters back, tied them out. They had to fight for the win, and we walked them off the next game. So let's finish that story the same way.
Is that something that this team that works to your benefit, that there's kind of a comp for – there's so much playoff experience in your group that there's a comp for almost every situation that you can kind of draw on?
Yeah, that's definitely cool. It's a good thing to be – good position to be in, having experience and things that remind you of other times because you can learn from the lessons before.
Has there been any chatter within the team about the way Houston is closing out on Steph, particularly swiping down on a shooting hand?
Nah.
What did you see just in that little skirmish with Pat and
TJD and everything that happened in that situation?
Well, I actually wasn't. I was looking the other direction when it happened. But, Pat a dog, getting in at the end of the game, Sengun talking or whatever it may be. I don't know what the situation was, honestly.
Y'all got a dog on the court with Jimmy Butler. Can you just tell us what you've seen him add on the court, but really more so behind the scenes?
Yeah, on the court, he's added wins, so that's always good. Off the court, he's got a big presence. He's himself all the time. I respect that. He's obviously a good guy to have in the locker room. Just the conversation that he brings. Like I said, it's in a world, in a game like this, you got to conform. You got to work as a group. So a lot of times that can be groupthink. Everybody got the same idea sometimes, but Jimmy is himself. He got a different playlist, different music that he listens to, different routine, and that's refreshing to have.
Cool. Okay. Steph and
Dillon, what did you think was the key to you guys coming out here tonight and getting such a decisive victory?
I'd say not changing anything, keeping to the game plan, following the game plan to a T, and our ball pressure was amazing tonight. It rattled a lot of their players, and we need to somehow replicate that same game on the road.
This is for Dillon. It seems like as soon as they put a smaller player on you, you go straight to the post, and you've had a lot of success, especially against Curry. Is that something you knew you'd be able to take advantage of coming into this series?
Yeah. A lot of the work I put in the summer was for that very thing. Last playoffs I was in, I couldn't shoot the ball. I couldn't, score the basketball. Everyone thought I was a defender, and that's what I did because of that. But, over the summer, I wanted to get past that hump and get back to where I was before. And, that's where I get a lot of success is in the post. Track double teams, and either, I shoot the ball for myself or I play make to get open shots. So that's just my role on this team.
Dylan, Jabari had mentioned being nervous. Jalen said the lights were bright. Amen told me he felt like he wasn't playing like himself. But what have you liked about the way that the young guys, Alpert included, are growing throughout their first playoff series?
You know, they're sticking to, you know, the details of the playoffs. Every possession matters. Every loose ball, rebound, shot we take, it matters. And that's nothing to get, you know, worked up or get tight about. It's just, you know, understanding that, you know, you can't turn over the ball. We need possessions. We need good possessions. And I feel like, you know, the young guys are learning, you know, how to, you know, leave their imprint on the game. And, you know, some nights might not be your night, but, you know, somehow you got to find a way to impact the game. If it's, you know, playmaking, how JG did playmake tonight. If it's, you know, scoring and doing it all like LP, or, you know, giving, you know, a little bit of, you know, life if you're coming off the bench like Jabari. All those things add up into wins, and, you know, that's what we need every game, every minute.
This is for Dylan. Amin Thompson had 8 stocks tonight. What did you see from him defensively in this one?
He was, you know, he took it personal, and that's what we need from every single night. You know, as a defender, you have to take the matchup personal. And he took it personal tonight. He was reading, you know, Steph, you know, reading a lot of the guys staying in front, being disciplined on the defensive end without reaching, without getting fouls. And we need that in men, you know, every single game, because we're going to go against guys. We're going to go against Steph again. You know, we need that same type of mentality, that tenacity that he was playing with. And it gives us a lot of energy. It gives us a lot of, you know, extra possessions, and it makes their best player timid and think. And, you know, that's what we need, you know, for their best players to try to think the game instead of playing in the flow.
Alpi, 5 games into this series, and every game you've gotten more and more effective. Are you starting to recognize earlier what they're trying to do to you on the defensive end?
I mean, yeah, you know, we watch film every after the game and see what they're doing, what they're not doing. So this is 5 games they let him play with. They let him play one-on-one with Drummond, and when somebody else got him, they bring in help. So I just know what it is and trying to find my guys. And, you know, when they start the game hot like that, I'm just like, you know, trying to do my job, set a good screen and good defense.
Dylan, one of the Warriors broadcasters tonight said he thought you were intentionally trying to swipe down on Curry's thumb, and Kerr was asked about it and said it happens around the league, that it's allowed by the rules, so players throughout the league do that. What do you think about that?
No, I've been playing the game. Shoot. If you're gonna come play the game injured or whenever you got, it's all about the game. You know, if I had an injured ankle, I would attack that ankle every single time. So, whatever they're saying on the broadcast, they can keep saying it.
You know, do you think that you and Amen are kind of kindred spirits a bit in a way? I saw you kind of stopped him from getting a bit of a shoving match with Gary Payton.
Yeah, you know, I saw a little bit of myself in him in that moment, and I know when, you know, I get in that moment, a lot of, you know, older guys or the guys that know me will come and push me out the way and not, you know, mess up a play. And in this series, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of passion that's being played. So, you know, me just being the new me, being, you know, real composed and, you know, I wouldn't say laid back, but more, you know, attentive to the game, you know, that, you know, I don't want any mess ups or, you know, things coming out of passion and enthusiasm.
Alpi, you guys have been in each of these games. You've had some leads before. What was the difference tonight where you guys were able to build on what you started and really finish it off?
I mean, nobody wants to go home, you know, so that was a win-win game. There was no chance, there was no option for us to lose. So that mentality, we came to game, start the game, and just, you know, there's been 4 games, lead changes all the time. So that was a good look for us to not letting them come back.
for both of you guys, since you both were involved. What happened there at the end with the Spencer shove and the headbutt?
He's talking too much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.